Here's an offer you've seen at almost every checkout. 0% interest. Split it into 4 easy payments. No fees if you pay on time. It sounds like free money. A store just letting you pay later out of pure generosity. And yet the companies behind that button, Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay, move hundreds of billions of dollars a year and pull in billions in revenue. So here's the question that button never answers. If it's genuinely free, where does all that money come from? The answer is that buy now, pay later isn't one product. It's a machine with 3 engines, and the friendly 0% one is the only one you're meant to see. The story BNPL tells is simple and appealing. Credit cards are the villain. The 20-something% interest, the revolving debt, the traps. BNPL is the friendly alternative. Transparent, interest-free, 4 neat payments, no catch. A better way to buy the thing you want today. And, for a disciplined shopper who pays on time, that pitch is mostly true. You really can borrow $100, pay it back in 4 chunks, and owe exactly $100, not a cent more. Which is exactly why the question gets interesting, because a business that lends you money, charges you nothing, and still makes billions has to be collecting from somewhere. To find it, you stop looking at the shopper and start following the receipt. Engine 1. When you pay with BNPL, you aren't the customer. The store is. Every time you check out with Klarna or Afterpay, the retailer hands the BNPL company a cut of the sale. It's called the merchant discount fee, and it runs roughly 2 to 8% of the purchase, Klarna around 3.5 to 6%, Affirm around 6%. Now sit with that number. A regular credit card charges the store maybe 2 to 3%. BNPL charges up to double. So the obvious question is, why on earth would a store volunteer to pay more? Because it makes them more. When shoppers can split the price into 4, they buy bigger. Retailers report average order sizes jumping 40 to 85%, and more people finish the checkout instead of abandoning the cart. To the store, that fatter fee isn't a cost. It's the price of a bigger sale. Put real numbers on it. You buy a $100 pair of shoes with pay in 4. You pay back exactly $100, 0 interest, just like promised. But behind the counter, the store only receives about $94. The BNPL company quietly keeps the other 6. That $6 is the whole trick. You feel like you got a free loan. The store feels like it got a customer who spent more than they otherwise would. And BNPL walks away with a slice of every single sale, whether you ever pay a fee or not. This is the engine that does the heavy lifting. Industry-wide, most BNPL revenue comes from these merchant fees, an estimated $12.5 billion in a single year. So the free product isn't charity. It's an advertising and conversion tool the retailer rents, and you're the reason it works. Engine 2 only fires when something goes wrong, and lately, it goes wrong a lot. Miss a payment, and the friendliness evaporates. A typical late fee is around $7. Some plans charge up to $30. $7 sounds trivial. Do the math, and it isn't. A $7 fee on a $50 payment that was only supposed to be outstanding for 2 weeks is enormous in percentage terms. Annualize it, stack a second missed payment on top, and a personal finance analyst on CNBC put the effective rate at 100% APR or more. That's not a typo. The interest-free product, missed, can behave worse than the credit card it claims to replace. And this isn't a rare edge case. Nearly 47% of BNPL users, almost half, say they've paid late in the past year, and that number has climbed 2 years running. The 0% headline quietly depends on a lot of people not hitting it. Engine 3 is the one BNPL is quietly leaning on hardest. The famous pay in 4 is the doorway. Once you're inside, you're offered the longer plans, 6, 12, 36 months for the bigger purchases, and those aren't interest-free at all. They carry stated interest, sometimes as high as 36% APR, right up against what a credit card charges. As many as 36% of BNPL plans now carry interest. But the deepest engine isn't a fee at all. It's psychology. Economists call it the pain of paying. Handing over money hurts, and that little sting is what keeps you from overspending. Splitting a price into 4 soft payments numbs that sting. $100 stops feeling like $100. It feels like 4 payments of 25. And when the pain disappears, the basket grows. That's not a bug in the design. That's the design. Now, zoom out, and the size of the machine comes into view. Globally, Buy Now, Pay Later is on track to move around $509 billion in purchases this year alone. Klarna pulled in $1 billion of revenue in a single quarter, up 44%, serving 119 million shoppers. Affirm ran $11.5 billion in volume in one quarter. 3 thin slices: merchant fee, late fee, interest, off an ocean of transactions. But the number that should stop you is smaller and quieter. 29% of BNPL users now use it to buy groceries, up from just 14% 2 years ago. And 54% say they couldn't make ends meet without it. A tool built to split a pair of sneakers is increasingly being used to make it to payday. So why doesn't the system correct itself? Because for years, most of this borrowing has been invisible. Historically, BNPL loans weren't reported to the credit bureaus, which means one lender usually couldn't see how many of these loans you already had at the others. Regulators have a name for it: phantom debt. A person can be stacked 3, 4, 5 plans deep, and on paper look like they owe nothing. That invisibility is only now starting to change. But the incentives underneath it don't. Merchants want bigger baskets. Shoppers want the sting to go away. And the BNPL companies sit in the middle, collecting a slice from every direction, from the store on the way in, and, when things slip, from the shopper on the way out. So the next time you see 0% for easy payments, you'll know what you're actually looking at. It's not a favor. It's a toll booth with 3 lanes, a fee from the store, a penalty if you're late, and interest if you go long, dressed up as the friendliest button at checkout. Used with discipline, on time, it can genuinely cost you nothing. The machine is built assuming plenty of people won't, and that's where the billions live. Same shoes, same price. Just a very different question about who's really paying. If you want the real mechanics behind the products you tap through every day, the numbers, verified, no hype, that's exactly what this channel is for. Subscribe, and we'll take apart another one.